Welcome to Global Symbols. The first thing to do is to sign up if you are managing a survey or voting session. We do not collect your data other than to keep your login, and certainly we will not be sharing any data. Make sure you have a secure password. Go to the symbol sets, and if you're going to run a survey, create your own symbol set. This need not be a symbol set designed just with your own symbols. You can add other symbols from other open symbol sets. You do not need to fill this screen in completely. You can do this later when you decide how you will publish it, especially if it is a set that contains quite a few symbols from other sets. You may want to add the name of those sets later on. We're going to add a symbol from your computer. You can upload one from something you've designed, or once again from another set that perhaps you've been using symbols from. In this case, I'm just going to use a book. I'm choosing the English language and I'm going to give it a label. You can edit this symbol at any time. This one happens to come from AAC, but there are others available from the other sets. I'm going to add it to my core vocabulary, and you'll see it sitting there. And I'm going to add another symbol. Again, you can draw your own symbol, you can change the part of speech at any time, and you can add a concept in the edit mode. But I'm going to choose a stick symbol in this case. Although the image label may say one thing, I can choose not only the part of speech, but also to relabel it so that it just says goodbye in this case. I go back to my symbol set to check that it's in place. And now I'm going to start to build my survey. When I create a survey, I need to give it a name, in this case core vocabulary, because we're going to look at some simple words that might be used early on. I'm not going to fill in any of the other details at this stage, because once again I can edit the survey at any time. I'm going back to my new symbol set and adding those symbols to the survey called core vocabulary. So I put those in place first, and then I think I'm going to add some symbols from one of the other symbol sets we have. So I'm just going to say add another, and I'm going to type in here up and go and look for a symbol for up, and I'll choose that one from the Mulberry symbol set. I'm going to add another, down, and once again I'll choose one from the Mulberry symbol set. So I'm mixing symbol sets in this case, but that may not be something you want to do. You may wish to choose symbols all from the same symbol set. In this case I'm going to choose an AAC one. Now I'm going to look at how many symbols I've got. I think that's enough for this little example of how to build a survey. So I'm going to now make my survey and set a date for when I wish it to be completed. So we're going to allow this one to go on until September. and we'll begin collecting feedback. Now here we copy the URL, the web address, and we send it to those participants that we wish to have joining our survey. And now I'm changing my role. I'm now acting as if I was voting on this symbol set. I've cut and pasted the web address into my browser, and I'm filling in details of who I am and what my role is, and I'm going to begin the survey. Now that I'm voting, I can choose out of a scale of 1 to 5 whether I like the symbol or not, whether I have a good feeling about it, whether it represents the word, the colour contrast is good, and whether it's cultural sensitive. In other words, it suits the location where we're going to be working. It feels right for our social setting and also perhaps for the task and the person who's going to use it. I'm always going to write a comment because that actually helps the designer, and in this case I feel the book should have some sentences and a picture. I'm not very keen on stick symbols. I don't feel they're going to suit my young child that I'm going to be working with, so I'm not quite so kind about the marks that I'm giving it. It's going to have marks that are below 3.5 for certain elements, and this means that it will fail and we'll probably need to go back to the designer, or I'll need to choose another symbol from the symbol sets. The up arrow probably fares better in that I quite like the up arrow, although it may not say that I'm going to stand up, so in some cases this one may not be suitable, but for just saying up, I think this is quite a good symbol. And the same for down. When I've filled in my comment, I can always go back and write a new one if I'm not happy with it. But if I wish to go on, I'll go to the next symbol and save the answer, and here we can see there are several languages. Now you can choose just to view one language in the voting session when you set up the survey. So now as the voter I've been sent back to the main page of global symbols. As the manager of the system, I go back to the feedback section, and if I am going to end the survey, I will then see my results. I can choose to look, when I collect the feedback, at individual responses. In this case we only have one, and we can see that some of the marks are quite low, but probably on average, if I want to look at the statistics, I'll see that they've passed, because they're, well, in fact that first book one didn't pass, and nor did the goodbye, but the other two symbols are above the 3.5 rating, which we say is acceptable. If I go and look at Excel spreadsheet that I can download, I will get a much more detailed offering, and I can make graphs and obviously work with that as I would normally do in Excel. I'm going to archive the survey because I'm not going to use it again. I might rename it so that I can use the word core vocabulary for another survey. In this case I'm going to put core vocabulary archived. And I've finished the voting sessions.